is Curtis Kessler with Team Hero. Today I'm going to be doing a Nekroz deck profile. It's not the greatest deck right now, nor will it be unless it ever gets shared back, and then even then at that point it won't be nearly as good as it was, but it's still one of my favorite decks of all time. I love this deck to death. I'm trying a different build. The ratios are kind of strange because I'm just testing around, because I've noticed that a lot of times I've been getting way too many normal summons, which is weird. I'm playing the Brilliant Fusion, but I've been trying to cut down on a lot of the unneeded cards, so the ratios are a bit off. But I'm just testing around and I'm liking it a lot, and here we go. So to start the deck off, I'm playing 3 Valk. I feel like I'll never play anything less than more than in the OCG. I don't know why. They always played 2. It's really strange. When I was looking over the deck profile, a lot of them were playing 2 for a while. I'm not quite sure. I love this card, and I feel like where the deck lacks, I guess, board presence. Once they get rid of like the 2 or 3 monsters you have, I really feel like the Valk is needed. But especially now the deck has less searchability. I guess over there the deck is a little bit better because that's probably why they only play 2. They can search more out. But for us, I feel like we have to play 3. I play 3 Colossus as well. I really like that. I like having the option to 1, get any mirror that I'm missing, and 2, set up for Trish. So I play 3. I summon them all a little bit, but not very often. Doesn't come up. Play 1 Unicorn. If I could play more than 1, I would. This card's amazing, especially if you're playing like Zoo or something. If you can just keep this on board, it causes them a problem. It causes them a frighten. But no, this card is still good. If you use it, I would love it so much if this went to 2, because it also gives you some recyclability as well. But unfortunately, you can't really use it for that right now, unless you have like Cycle. If you have Cycle, then I guess you can use it to add back a Cabrio or something. Played 1 Decisive Armor, which is kind of strange. I still like this card. I always will. It's a little slow, but there's always that one card. There's always a deck in the format I have a hard time climbing, and this helps with that. It also gives your opponent kind of like a surprise factor, because a lot of people don't think Decisive Armor is worth playing. I personally love it, and I actually also side a second one for certain matchups. For example, I think it's decent in matchup for like True Dracos, because if you need to climb the monster with a smaller monster, you easily can. And if they go to stop you or destroy your monster, you can just gun near it, or Trish for protection as well. Speaking of Trish, I'll play 1 Trish. Some builds are playing 2. I definitely wanted to try it, but after messing around with it, I kept drawing it too often. I might go back to it. If you guys can definitely test it out too. It is not a bad thing. I see a lot of people playing 2 now, because I would say Trish is probably your most important play now of the deck. Unfortunately, it's not, like I said, it's not like it was, but the card itself definitely you can play it too. Playing 1 Brio, it's at 1. If it was at more than 1, I'd be playing it. I love this guy. He's amazing. I even kind of find myself summoning him sometimes because people aren't expecting it. It's not as much now because of Link format, but whenever XYZs were a big thing, whenever I was playing it around before Link's format came out, people would flood the board of XYZs, and you could summon this with Unicorn and bounce it back to your hand. You still can with other cards, but it's not as good as it was. I play 1 Gungnir. It's really good on if you have a board control. I really enjoy actually summoning the Gungnir rather than holding it, because if you have the board control for then you can just constantly once per turn just keep ditching cards, popping cards, and keeping the advantage. If not, it's so good in hand because there's so much destruction like Kaiju Slumber, Dark Hole Regeki, True Dracos, Zoo. It just protects your monsters being destroyed, so it's also helpful. And that's it for the ritual monsters. I'm playing 1 Dancer Princess and 1 Sorcerer. These are the only 2 monsters I'm playing right now. The new one we got's trash, I'm gonna be honest. It would only be good if we had Chariot. But we don't have Chariot, so these 2 cards are the only ones I play. This card is really good because you can recycle your banished cards, and then also if it's on the field, they can't respond to your summon, which is really good. Or they can't negate the summon. And then Sorcerer is really good because you can add it to the Spellcasters for free when you use them. So like if you can't do the normal Kaleido play, you could just tribute out the Sorcerer for the Unicorn as well. And I play a Kaiju Engine, and I'll explain a little bit more why later. But this is the lineup I play. I don't have a Gamma Seal, or else this would be Gamma Seal. I just don't want to find one right now. This is working fine. Deck Noise Climate. It's not an issue. But this is really important actually, that this is a 9, because you can summon Trish, banish a card, and summon this as well afterwards. Because you Kaiju Slumber, you banish the monster you gave them, banish a card in graveyard you attributed, and then they have cards in their hand, right? So you summon him, you summon Trish. Instead of attacking, Well, you can attack first, doesn't matter. It depends on what their back row is. If they have back row, I wouldn't recommend attacking first. But if they don't have back row, obviously attack. That's huge damage. But after you're done either attacking or deciding you don't want to, because they may have like, a storm and you're drowning, you can overlay this with the Trish for an extra I'm playing. So you'll be able to rip multiple cards out, because I also play this card. And this card allows you to banish another card. There's more abilities as well. This is phenomenal. You can do whatever you need. But the one I use it more often is usually rip a 4th card. It's really important. That's one reason I really like the Kaiju engine, because this deck has problems answering a large group of cards at once. So the Trish play into ripping another card after a Kaiju Slumber is just really, really powerful. But that's why I play him. Then I'm playing 3 Manju and 2 Senju. Now this ratio is really weird. I was playing 3 and 3, which most people will probably agree, and like I said, I'm testing this build out. So far, it's working fine. I see both of them whenever I need them. It's not causing me many headaches. I don't want to see too many of this card in my hand, because I would much rather see Manju, which doesn't make sense to play only 2 because of that, because they're both phenomenal. But even playing them at 2, the deck goes through is like, you cycle through your deck so fast with between Valk and the searchability of Nekroz that if you need these, you'll usually see them. And if you don't see these, then you already have the cards. So I don't really see a point of playing 6 in total, especially when you're trying to make the deck as small as possible. Now, I am playing 42 cards, but that's because I really couldn't find anything else to cut it down to fit the Kaiju engine in there. I was thinking about making the Kaiju engine smaller, but it's not playing that either, because then you have a chance of having a dead Slumber. Then play 1 Maxi, 1 Trick Helm, and 1 Sardonyx. You can easily, obviously, switch this out for a Garnet. The Garnet is much better, but I just don't want to be bothered finding one for 100 attack. Now, it will come up. There's very well I could lose the games because of the 100 attack boost, I know, but I'm playing Nekroz to begin with. And then I play 3 Mirrors, 2 Kaleido, and 2 Cycle. I love this ratio. I feel like this ratio is the ratio that I'll stick with for the rest of my life. I feel like you need to have the options available to you, and you definitely will use this the most. But it's nice to have these late game and early game. But you having more of these at a time, it really sucks. The only reason I play 3 Mirror instead of 2, because I see a lot of people playing 2, which is not bad either. 2, 2, and 2. But I just love Mirror. There's so much you can do with Mirror, and it really is the only way you're going to exist late game, is by recycling your Mirror, or having multiple Mirrors left. I play 3 Brilliant Fusion. You kind of need to with this deck. I feel like there's no way of playing this deck without it. I mean, you can play Gishki Vision and a Shadow and all and those cards, but now the Links being out, I feel like it's not as relevant. It's just, it's good, but the Diva play is still really good, but it clogs up a spot for at least a little bit, so you can't make anything else. Like, you can't do the Gem Knight, so I'm not playing that right now. Like I said, I like that build as well, but I'm just testing this around. The Diva build for me just wasn't working very well. I'm playing 3 Billions. I'm playing 2 Twin Twister. This deck, it hurts the discard resources, but back row hurts this deck more. So I'm playing 2 Twin Twister. It's nice because early game, you could like Clawsless, search a mirror, then Twin Twister mirror, and then banish both of them to search whatever mirror you need. It's a lot of resources to do that, but if you need a specific card, but you don't want to ditch anything else, the worst case scenario, you get that card back. And I play 2 Slumber, 1 Raigeki. Like I said, this deck has a hard time entering a large board, because you can only really, without Brio, you can only get rid of so many cards. You can either Trish them and attack over the rest of them, you can Unicore, Trish, and then try to climb things so they won't have any effects, but then it leaves you the back row to worry about. So I'd rather be able to Trish like the back row if I could, so I would love having these. I was thinking about playing Dark Hole as well, because like I said, it is a huge problem when you can't enter the board, especially when the board's being flooded. So in any deck that's really quick, really fast, and it's overwhelming, like Light Sword or something, I feel like you really, really need these cards. You need to see at least one. So if you want to play Dark Hole, if you feel that same reason, and by all means, definitely play it. You're gonna play 1 Rhoda and 1 Pre-Pro. These cards are self-explanatory, they're needed, sadly. This card would be so much better if we had Chariot, but we don't, so the only target you have is Clawsless. And I guess technically, if you really, really, really wanted to, You can play some of the other warriors, there's not very many options, to be honest. It's only for clauseless. We don't have Shred, there's nothing else. I can't compensate for anything else. And then one pre-prep, because pre-prep can search Brio or Unicore, and those are both good cards. And you add back your free ritual as well. And for the extra deck, I'm playing one Phantom Fortress. This card's amazing. So it's one of the main reasons I'm playing the Kaiju Engine. I'm still playing this Utopia package because, like I said, sometimes you just have a hard time answering some creatures, monsters, whatever. This helps with that. There's some monsters that you're not going to be able to get rid of. And if with only when you play one Trish, it's not going to help much. One Castel, one Tornado Dragon. This card's amazing. I don't know how many times I actually go into it and win 2 games. I actually didn't think this card was going to be as good as it was. I knew it was going to be amazing, but I didn't think it was actually going to be this good. One Dweller. One's the Seraph Knight. And I play 2 Arcs. This is, for anyone that isn't very familiar or hasn't played Nekroz yet, this card's phenomenal because you can just Kaleido and the Unicore right away off this, and then get a free ritual spells off that. So you can do like Unicore, Kaleido, Brio, search, like Colossus, whatever else you need, because it searches a ritual spell or monster. One Crystal Wing is for 7. You're not going to make it, but I have a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 for the Kaleido. So I play 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. It honestly doesn't matter which ones you play. If you're not playing Diva, you can't make any of this anyways. So whatever levels you need a 7 through 12. But you can do whatever you'd like. And that's really all there is to it. A lot of it is... The deck requires a lot of patience, and it's not the best, so if you don't want to waste your time, don't pick up Nekroz, but if you do, you can try this deck profile and see how you like it. Have a good day, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.